All the pre-match rituals almost done. Everton in their blue shirts, the white shorts and the white socks. Are defending the Howard Kendall Gladys Street end in the first half. Newcastle in their change strip, the white shirt with the green shorts and green socks. They're into a huddle now. Their goal to make the top four is firmly in their grasp. A win here, they'll go 8 points clear of Villa in fifth. And they've got what they will feel is a run-in that can see them get the points that they need. This is the start of two huge games for Everton. They take on Leicester live and exclusive on Talksport on Monday night. And you get the feeling, Trevor, if they don't get anything out of these next two, they are doomed.
Yeah, I think, especially the Leicester game, I think they have got what it takes to beat Leicester. Even though it's away, I've been to Leicester recently and I'm not convinced that they've got everything to stay up. But the Brighton game, I think that's going to be difficult. They had a bit of a slump, but I can't see that continuing under Roberto De Zerbi. And then they've got Manchester City and Wolves, and then Bournemouth. So that Wolves and the Bournemouth game, I think they could need maximum 6 points to stay up.
Well, we're underway here at Goodison Park. Newcastle have the ball. Cue the boos for them. Don't forget, live right now on the Talksport app, live and exclusive, Southampton Bournemouth, another huge game in the battle to avoid the drop to the Championship. Also on Talksport, live and exclusive from 8:15 tonight, Spurs take on Manchester United. You've got the Talksport app, you can swipe left and right, you can click on the live sport icon. Here comes Everton then, there's a clash there. Referee's going to let play go on here. Everton get the ball into the area, and it looked like the Newcastle player got caught there. The referee's played on, eventually got for a goal kick, and he will stop it, Trevor, but there was a clash there.
Yeah, there was, and I'm surprised Andy Mariner didn't stop the game earlier. It's certainly a head injury, looks like a facial injury. I didn't really catch what happened. I'm just waiting for the replay to come up on the monitor. But listen, I don't think you've got a Newcastle player going up for a header there. Is it Botman? I'm not sure if it's Botman or Shah. It looks Botman. Like Shah. Is it
Botman?
Botman, yeah. I don't think he's the type to go down. Yeah, he's gone up with Dominic Calvert-Lewin and just looks like Dominic. I don't think it's an elbow. It's a straight arm and it looks like it's a glancing one. So, listen, for a centre forward, he's not done much there, and Botman's kind of shied off for it. So that'd give me a lot of hope as a centre forward, thinking he doesn't fancy it tonight. Let's get into him.
If that's what it's going to take to knock Sven Botman over, I think we might see him on the floor quite a lot tonight, because there wasn't a lot, I'm with you, there wasn't a lot in that. He's just jumping for the ball. But Sven Botman, one of the new recruits for Eddie Howe. 0-0 if you just joined us here. Mark Wilson, the former England man. Trevor Sinclair live at Goodison Park as Keane will head the ball away. Joe Linton will put his head in where it hurts. Did he get caught there? Well, the referee said play on, and Joe Linton gets up and gets the ball away. Now there's a chance to move it with Longstaff. Gets it out wide on the right hand side, puts a deep ball into the far post. Can he keep it in? No, he can't. Got his foot on it, but just couldn't quite control it. It skips away for a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the transformation of the two players on the pitch at the moment. Almiron, the goal output that he's given, and the unbelievable season that he's had, especially the first half of the season. But Joe Linton, I remember watching him 2 seasons ago at Rochdale in the FA Cup, and I felt sorry for him, and I thought he was playing centre forward on his own. He looked isolated, his confidence was shot to bits, and I thought, I'm not sure he's going to enjoy it. I'm not sure he's going to make it at Newcastle. And you look at him now, I'm sure Eddie Howe is probably one of his first team players on the team sheet. He's been absolutely stunning, and yeah, I mean, credit to it. It just shows you've got to keep on going. And if you work hard, you can make it work out for yourself.
Yeah, Decore picks up the ball. Mikolenko gets it away on the far side. Everton on halfway. Nice little turn there. Feeds it into Iwobi. Iwobi moves the ball forward. It's headed away. There's a nice interview actually with Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton on the White and Jordan show earlier in the week, where they were talking to the two Newcastle Brazilians. They seem in good form, and why wouldn't you be when you're having such a good season?
Yeah, the team spirit will be unbelievable. We all know the support that they get at St James's Park and how this city lives for football, but yeah, I'm sure they're absolutely enjoying their time in the North East.
Well, there's a ball over the top there. Decore had made the run. Everyone in the ground thought it was offside, but it wasn't until he had a touch that the official on the near side raised the flag. 0-0. We've had just over 3 minutes here. You're live on Talksport 2 tonight. More live football tomorrow as well. What a game in the Championship, by the way. Blackpool, for his former club, take on Millwall. Blackpool, well, if they get beat, they're down, you feel. They take on Millwall, who are 7th on the edge of the playoffs, just having a bit of a wobble, though.
Yeah, Dobby's done quite well. He's got a couple of wins, and the win against Burnley was absolutely superb. Probably after a couple of drinks from the Burnley lads after securing that promotion, but we'll take it. And yeah, Millwall, they're going for promotion, so it's going to be a massive game, but I wish the boys all the best.
Yeah, it's live on Talksport 2 tomorrow night, and then on Saturday we're back in the game day live. Palace West Ham live and exclusive at 12:30. Rashmin Chowdhury with Clive Tilsley and the former England man Stuart Pearce. Here it's 0-0, and Newcastle have got the ball with Joe Linton wide on the left. Just tried to knock it past his man, but that time goes out. Sean Dyche very animated, applauding his side as he stood on the edge of his technical area. 1 winning 9 after a promising start for Dyche, and he's under a bit of pressure here. Doucouré does well though, finds Gay. Gay now moves it to Iwobi, first time pass, gets it back though Iwobi. It was a poor clearance from Botman, ball in towards Calvert-Lewin, who got up high but just couldn't get something on the end of it, and Pope's gone racing across to the far side and eventually just lets it roll out. I wonder what he was doing for a moment, but that's the type of ball that Dominic Calvert-Lewin will want into the penalty area. It was a dangerous ball and he just couldn't get on the end of it.
Yeah, I'd like to actually see Iwobi a little bit wider there when he's receiving the first ball. He doesn't look as comfortable to me out wide as he does in the middle of the park, and he followed his poor pass in after he received it wide, got the ricochet, and it was a decent ball, just a tiny bit too hard for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but they're the kind of balls he needs, absolutely. Ball
one back. Doucouré had a bit of a snapshot edge of the area. Iwobi's gone for the curler, but it was always too high, and Nick Pope watches that one go over the top. But a warm ripple of applause here at Goodison Park. They're determined to cheer anything and everything that's positive tonight. It is 0-0 on the Talksport app. Southampton against Bournemouth. It's goalless here, and it's Spurs against Manchester United. Kicks off at 8:15 this evening.
They've got to be the 12th man as well, this crowd, because quality-wise on the pitch, like we mentioned earlier, the recruitment's been superb at Newcastle. The quality is with this Newcastle side, but you get these fans behind this team and it does become a 12th man, and that's exactly what they need this evening.
Good header away from Keane, and then gets the ball in the midfield. It's all a bit congested at the moment. That was high from Joe Linton, who caught Idrissa Gana again. The referee blows the whistle, and there's quickly a handshake between the two. It was a raised boot, but thankfully no damage done.
Yeah, good flexibility by the way from Joe Linton there, a little Jackie Chan kick.
Yeah, he nearly pierced Gay's ears for him there, didn't he? Here is Guimaraes, looked like he got caught as he cleared the ball. Play on, Iwobi has it on the right, tries to feed it in again. Calvert-Lewin certainly looking busy in the penalty area, just needs some service as Gay gets retribution on Joe Linton as he puts him over the sideline out for a throw-in.
Yeah, good signs from this Everton side. They started on the front foot, they're getting them knockdowns, they're getting them second balls, they're fully committed in them tackles as well, and Joe Linton just looked like he didn't really fancy that with Idrissa Gay coming through the back of him. Good challenge though.
Here's Iwobi now, again on the right hand side, level with the edge of the box, puts the cross in, cleared away initially, it'll fall to Doucouré, 25 yards out. Gay has it, he's going to hit it left-footed, and it's a strong strike, but it's straight into the arms of Nick Pope, all in yellow, away to our right-hand side, makes a comfortable save. Still 0-0.
Yeah, decent strike. It just opened up to about 25 yards out. It's a good strike, but you can imagine Nick Pope will put his cap on that every day of the week.
He's not scored since his return. Okay, long ball forward. Wilson did really well to take that in his stride, and he's going to earn himself a corner there. Well, that is top quality centre forward play. It's one long ball over the top. He's surrounded by 3 blue shirts, but that first touch, Trevor Sinclair, was immaculate, wasn't it?
Yeah, superb skill with his left foot, and he's having to hold off Michael Keane as well as he's doing it. It just shows the elite performance that he's in, and his confidence that he's in. Brilliant touch.
Just over 7 gone. Live on Talksport 2 at Goodison Park. 0-0. Corner for Newcastle, away to our left, in front of the Gladys Street end. It's going to be swung in. There are plenty of white shirts in there. There's a big queue of them on the edge of the 6-yard box. The ball played in. Oh, it's a short corner, a trick corner. Here now it falls to Bruno Guimaraes. She's going to curl one into the far post, and it comes off an Everton defender and behind. Initially, I think everyone thought that was a miss-hit corner, but that was a planned move, wasn't it?
Yeah, brilliant move from the set ball team at the Newcastle. I thought he was going to put it, because he's got great quality, Trippier, but he's just whipped a low one into the feet, right on the byline. He's cut it back, and then he's done an in-swinger from the edge of the 18-yard box, and yeah, very interesting.
Guimaraes could have got a little bit more height on that. That would have been a threat to Pickford's goal. It's a corner over on the far side now, the Newcastle right. 0-0 still here. 8.5 gone. Ball again played short. Now it's whipped in towards the edge of the area, but Everton are alert to it and they tried to break, but Newcastle have won it back midway inside the Everton half. And it's out for a throw-in. So Newcastle putting on their planned moves early on here, a sign maybe of their confidence. And they have it over on the right-hand side. It's a throw-in for Newcastle.
And I think you look at the Everton side, and they're a big side, so they probably think, you know what, maybe we should go a little bit shorter, try and use a little bit of creativity and catch them out a little bit.
Yeah, well, to a certain degree. The ball out over on the far side. Everton have got the throw in. Eddie Howe looks on. He's got his club manager's jacket on. Ball goes high in the air. Joe Linton heads it back into a dangerous position in his own half there. Now he's got to hold off the attention of Ben Godfrey, and Everton get it back. Iwobi now fires the ball. It's a nice pass. Calvert-Lewin's touch was a shade heavy, but he did well to keep possession moving. Ball back on halfway, but Newcastle looking to press, but Onana just has time, finds Iwobi. His touch is a poor one, and Joe Linton now will look to work it forward. But this pass goes awry. Just in the middle, it's getting a bit congested at the moment. Here come Everton driving forward though with McNeil. McNeil to the edge of the area, he's simply outnumbered. And Newcastle get it back, and they'll feed it to Wilson. Ball rather bounces off him. He picks it up. Which side's going to get hold of the ball first in midfield? May have the better chance tonight. Ball out wide on the Everton left-hand side. Cross comes in. And Guimaraes has given it away. Gay, edge of the area, went down. I think the Newcastle player won the ball there, Trev. It's a free kick about 22 yards out.
Yeah.
It looked to me like the Newcastle player got the ball.
Yeah, it's Longstaff. I think he did get some of the ball. That's pretty harsh from Andy Mariner. It was a good tackle. I think it just again makes it a little bit dramatic with his fall, and the referee's bought it. But good play initially, and you can see that physicality with Decore and Onana in the middle of the park. You know, they've been missing that massively over the last few weeks, and it's great that they're back, and I think that gives them the fighting chance. The original move went straight into Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That's what they've not had. Even, you know, Neil Maupay, I do like him as a footballer, but he's not that focal point that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is. So you can see the positives from bringing these injured players or these suspended players back into the side. They've got a lot more physicality.
Well, this free kick is just a fraction to the left of goal. It's just to the side of the D. Dwight McNeil is there as the left-footed option. Idrissa Gana Gueye, the right-footed option. Nick Pope's right in the middle of his goal here. There's a big wall in front of him for
McNeil, this, I think.
Well, Nick Pope showing him an even split of the goal here. If he can put one in the top corner. Idrissa Gana Gueye it is who takes him. It dipped just over the top. Pope was interested in that momentarily, but it was always just a fraction too high. 11.5 gone. It's still Everton 0, Newcastle 0.
Yeah, decent effort. Got to try and get it. I mean, it's a difficult task because it's so close, Mark. You know, I think if it was 2 or 3 years further out, you've got the time and the distance to get it up and down over the wall. When it's so close, you've got to have some serious skill set to be able to execute that.
Nick Pope, well known of course to Sean Dyche from their time together at Burnley. The home fans are not happy with the amount of time being taken by Nick Pope here, but I guess that's the luxury when you're a team sitting in the top 4. You're not in a rush to go anywhere. There's a ball played downfield. Guimaraes gets it. Nice ball, invites Trippier forward, and Trippier will go inside the Everton half now. He just eases the ball out wide on the Newcastle right-hand side. Here now is Bruno Guimaraes again. Good tackle back, but he's ridden that tackle. Now he looks to put the ball into Wilson, and the ball just too high. And Jordan Pickford, all in orange, come racing out to collect it. Good goalkeeper from England's number 1.
Yeah, good play as well from Callum Wilson there. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was just pulling onto Botman to try and make a 1-against-1 just over the halfway line, and Callum Wilson got in his way, was prepared to give a foul away to make sure that didn't happen too soon until they got defenders back to help Botman, and that's exactly what they've done.
See what I do look forward to. I love this ground, Trevor, but I will not miss that pillar that's in front of the goal away to our left-hand side.
Mine's the space. I mean, I've got a voluptuous backside, and trying to get in these seats is very difficult for me, especially with a lack of flexibility these days.
Oh, he's just showing off now. Like an acrobat he was getting in the press box earlier. 0-0 here.
You have to be.
Yeah.
No, but it's a charming ground, and obviously it's held some unbelievable nights. You know, in the 80s, the championship winning sides and European football, etc. But yeah, we have to evolve and we have to move on, and that's a brilliant move for the football club, taking them to this new stadium.
Yeah, it's in the plans, of course, for the Euros. Should they come back to England and Ireland, and due course as the ball with Joe Linton, who got caught by Godfrey. Again, he's gone down. Eddie Howe's not happy with the challenge, and ball's played forward by Godfrey. Swung away to Wilson. Again does well in a tight spot. Everton thought he handled it, but Wilson did really well there. And Sean Dyche, I don't think he'll be too happy with that. A couple of times Wilson, with heavy pressure's come down with the ball, hasn't he?
It doesn't matter. Wilson's an elite athlete and he's an elite number 9, and that's what they do. They get older balls when they shouldn't really have any right to.
Well, the ball was given away by Newcastle, but as they tried to feed it into Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the pass went awry and Newcastle get it back.
I don't mind that though, because you can see there's an intent with this Everton side today. You know, they know how desperate they are for points, and they're having a go to try and penetrate, and that's been missing in recent games.
Well, here's Almiron bursting the other way. He feeds it to Willett. Willett on the left, gets it to Joe Linton on the overlap. He had Target with him. He'll try and square it towards the penalty spot. It's hammered away. Out for a throw on the near side, and Newcastle there just showing on the break they're a real threat.
Yeah, and you can see the Everton players were a bit confused. Bit of dialect between Iwobi and Godfrey. Just a little bit of a misunderstanding, but that's what happens when you've got good forwards making good movement and breaking lines.
Still 0-0 here. It's 0-0 on the app as well. Southampton Bournemouth. If you've not got the Talksport app, it's available in all the usual places. It's free and easy to use. It'll give you access to all our live commentaries. Be on Talksport, Talksport 2, or on the Talksport app, as we've had some this week as well. So many live games on Talksport, and they're running to the end of the season as Bruno Guimaraes did well to control the poor pass, and he brings it forward now, feeding out wide on the near side. Here is Matt Target, only his 5th start of the season. Had to be patient, Target.
Yeah, he's got to be.
But again, that's the thing, when you come to a team that's got money, Trevor, you know they're going to bring in good players.
Yeah, and Dan Burn's been outstanding, hasn't he? You know, his performance against Spurs especially, I thought he was great. Local lad, come here, took to it like a duck to water, and you might have to wait for a while, but fair play to him, you know, and fair play to the manager, keeping his spirits high, keeping him fit and ready to go, and he's got his opportunity tonight.
Yes, nice play from Everton. Here's Gay now, brings it forward over halfway. He's looking to expand play to Iwobi. That's what he'll do now. Iwobi's touch is a decent one, but he's immediately confronted by Joel Linton, and Target will keep that in, and he feeds it inside to Sven Botman, edge of his own area.
Yeah, I think there's little triggers around all over the pitch, and when the ball gets won by the midfield from Everton, I'd like to see Iwobi get into a space where he can receive the ball a bit quicker. He just seems a little bit delayed. I don't think he wants to be out there. I think he enjoys his football in the middle of the park. He's got the ball now, and this is a good link-up. This is a good match-up, these two players, him against Matt Target.
Yeah, we welcome along. This is on Talksport. It's 0-0, but Everton on the attack here. Iwobi puts the ball in just too deep, and it'll roll all the way over on the far side. McNeil will keep it in. It's Everton 0, Newcastle 0. The game live and exclusive on Talksport 2 as Pope comes out, has a bit of a juggle and collects it. It's been a frantic start, really. Both sides looking to get bodies forward, but no genuine chances in that. We saw Idrissa Gay fire a free kick from the edge of the area over the top. Trevor Sinclair, neither keeper had too much to do just yet, but certainly plenty of attacking intent from both sides.
Absolutely, and listen, you're playing against a side 3rd in the league. You know, you're down there, 2nd from bottom of the table. You've got to be happy with this if you're an Everton fan. They're getting involved in tackles. They look like they're up for this game. The fans are up for it, and you know it's 0-0 at the moment. But I think they're showing a lot of bravery in this game because the pressure's on when you're down there.
Well, Michael Keane is weaving his way forward, but he's lost out on possession. Newcastle get it back. We've had 17 minutes at Goodison Park. The game live and exclusive on Talksport 2. It is still Everton 0, Newcastle 0. As Everton bring the ball forward again, but then a shocking pass, and it's out of play for throwing.
Mark, you say that, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. And instead of it being a midfielder there, it was Tarkowski. Iwobi's got to make that pass a lot more clearer. Get on that passing lane so there's no jeopardy in that pass at all. He's far too close to the player inside him, and it has to be a perfect pass to get the ball into his feet. He needs to work harder at his positional play.
Wilson again does well to hold it up. He's certainly been a positive so far. Here's Botman. Botman brings it forward to halfway, finds Joel Linton, had so much time. Guimaraes gets it away. That's a nice pass the outside of the boot. Down the right hand side they go. Here's Almiron cutting in now, looking for the give and go with Joel Linton, but showed too much of it to Gay, and now the break could be on here, and Doucouré's driving forward through the heart of the midfield. Can he feed it to Calvert-Lewin? He does. Calvert-Lewin with a turn, can't get the shot away. The fans appealing for a penalty. It was lovely play from Everton, and Calvert-Lewin just couldn't quite get get his long leg on the end of it.
Absolutely brilliant move from Everton. Great work from Decore, and it's excellent movement, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We wouldn't expect anything different from someone who scored 21 goals in the Premier League a couple of seasons. He's supposed to be a bit rusty. He doesn't look it to me, and he was so close there to opening up an opportunity.
Puts the ball in, and it's turned towards his own goal by Tarkowski, and Pickford saved low down at his near post. That was dangerous, and the game really starting to open up now.
Yeah, edge to end. Good attack by Almiron. Good ball in, and a little deflection at that near post. Jordan Pickford deals with it well, and he wants to get rid of the ball as quickly as he can. And I think that's been a bit of information from Eddie Howe to Callum Wilson. When you get chance, delay Jordan Pickford on the ball so he can't expose us at the back with a 1-on-1 or 2-against-1 against Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And that's the respect, even though he's been out for most of the season, that Dominic Calvert-Lewin demands.
The best bit of control from Fabian Schär. He worked the ball back, bit of a miscue back to Nick Pope. Schär was a big doubt tonight, injury-wise. Picked up a knock at the weekend, saw him leave the field, but he's fit and ready to go again tonight. Philip Dyche very animated, he's encouraging his team forward. He wants Ben Godfrey to make room forward. They get the ball now, feeds it to Iwobi, back to Godfrey. The Corey makes a run in behind, but Botman had it covered, and it's behind for a goal kick. You are listening to Everton against Newcastle on Talksport 2 with Now Sports. Don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream the Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, stream via the internet, terms apply.
It is quite blustery out there, you can sense it, you can see it in the flags and that, and you've just got to be careful when you're feeding that ball not to get too much on it. And I think Everton have been guilty of that a couple of times in that final third. Maybe a little bit of adrenaline in the system, just getting a little bit excited and putting too much in. Just got to caress that ball into areas, because if there's anything that we know about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, if it's in the right area, he'll go and attack it. And they've just got to take a little bit more care with putting that ball into that second 6-yard box area.
Yeah, I think Decore's a big plus as well, isn't he? He's back after a ban. He certainly gets around. He makes defenders defend, doesn't he?
I think the pair of them, him and Onana, they're both 6'2", both fantastic athletes. Idrissa Gueye, he doesn't mind putting his foot in.
Here's McNeil, who's kind of hit one from 30 yards. It swerved, you could see it swerving, and Pope just needed to parry it down, but that was more like it from McNeil. Doesn't probably get enough goals, really, if we're honest. He's got 4 this season so far, but that was worth the effort. But here now come Newcastle, and the game really starting to open up. Ball works its way, well, it would have worked its way to Willock. It was a poor pass, and Godfrey races onto it. Ben Godfrey racing forward now. He goes past Bruno Guimaraes. Good challenge, wins the ball low from Botman. Botman was having none of that, was he? Bit of a miscontrol again from Fabian Schär. And it's cleared away by Pope. Mikolenko will bring it down on halfway, and Everton have it back again. 21 gone, still Everton 0, Newcastle 0, but really wide open game here. 2 teams coming to win it. Another misplaced pass who just forces Godfrey back, and he will have to go all the way back to his goalkeeper, who clears it downfield. Pickford, great pass, 50-metre pass across the field. All on the Everton left-hand side. Here's Onana looking now to... He's looking for some movement. There wasn't too much in front of him there. And Willock just caught Godfrey, and that's a free kick. Well, the referee's played advantage. Iwobi will chase this ball down, but Botman got through in front of him, and Botman hoofs that high over the roof and out of Goodison Park. Still 0-0.
Yeah, I'm still urging Alex Iwobi just to make a bit of better movement as the ball's coming across that the halfway line there. He's got to give the team some width, because that will open it up for Dominic Calvert-Lewin to get the ball fed into his feet, 1-against-1 with Schär or Botman. And I fancy Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He looks faster than both of them 2 centre-halves, and the more you can get the ball into that area, the better.
Here's the throw in, 8 yards away from the corner flag, nicked by Joel Linton. Linton then cuts in onto his right foot, gives it to Bruno Guimaraes. So playing in a bit of a tight spot. Botman gets it away to target. Everton try to put the squeeze on. Willock's pass finds Joel Linton, but that's nicked away by Onana. He finds McNeil. McNeil midway inside the Newcastle United half of the field. Still 0-0 on Talksport 2. Live and exclusive. Plenty more live commentaries to come as well. Game Day Live kicks off on Saturday. And we're live at Crystal Palace against West Ham as the ball goes all the way back to Jordan Pickford, who will knock it left-footed, long and downfield. Calvert-Lewin wins the header. Can Iwobi get on the end of it? No, because Targett was brave, put his head in where he could have got kicked, gets it to Willock. Willock, though, is out-muscled by Godfrey, and Iwobi's pass finds Idrissa Gana Gueye, tight under pressure. Again, Joel Linton is in there. Then good work from Michael Keane, who skips past one or two. Tries to fire it in early to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin looking for support. He may feed it into the edge of the area here. Chance for a shot. Doucouré goes past one. Ball works its way out wide. Here now it is back. Shot comes in. It loops up in the air. Targett needs to win the header. It comes off Iwobi. And it's behind for a goal kick. Better from Everton.
Yeah, you can sense it from the crowd every time the ball goes into their big number 9. And he looks sharp. He's looking for it to feet. He's looking to get in behind them central defenders with the ones into the box, and yeah, good play there. He looks sharp as attack, I have to say. It's good play in the end by Doucouré. Tried to open up, excellent defending in the end by Newcastle. Get the block, and then Iwobi can't keep the ball in play, and it goes out for a goal kick. But really, really positive play. You can sense it from the crowd. You can sense it from Sean Dyche, just there, gesticulating to his players. Well done, animating it, clapping them, and it's been a really positive start for this for Everton.
It has. There's a couple of Newcastle players down. Bruno Guimaraes just went down. It's Joel Linton who's getting treatment just on the edge of his own penalty area. He got a kick earlier on that he was complaining about. I think maybe that has just had another bang.
Yeah.
It is still goalless on the South Coast. Huge game in the relegation battle. Southampton against Bournemouth 0-0. It's live on the Talksport app now, and in a couple of moments' time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, live on Talksport, you'll hear Tottenham against Manchester United. Sam Adderface and Scott Minto, our commentary team for that one. That should be another cracker. Tottenham looking to bounce back. Manchester United looking to consolidate their place in the top 4. That one live on the Talksport. There's the ball back in play. Nick Pope will clear it away. And the ball back on halfway. Targett knocks it forward. Wilson did well, but couldn't find Willock. I have to say, I think Ben Godfrey started well, hasn't he, down this right side? Certainly Willock and Joel Linton, he's letting them know he's there, isn't he?
Yeah, and listen, you look at the trend as well. Look at Manchester City last night. They're playing 4 central defenders, and they've been playing that for most of the season. 4 central defenders across the back line. I think if you can get that physicality, you take away components of the opposition's attack to be able to put long balls in, and it limits the choices that you've got playing out from the back. And I think it's always a good thing when you've got someone as mobile as Ben Godfrey is playing out on one of the full-back positions. It's an excellent choice to have.
Another stoppage in play here as Guimaraes got a kick off Doucouré. Then he wanted to take it quickly, and the referee says no.
It looks a bit cheeky to me, Guimaraes.
Yeah, well, it was Lovely Life who was talking to Jim White about winning the Champions League, winning the Premier League with Newcastle. So certainly lofty ambitions. Absolutely. And why not? You get the feeling they're very much on an upward curve, Newcastle under Eddie Howe. But Everton not concerned about winning the Premier League at the moment. The first thoughts to stay in it as McNeil. He's Longstaff off the ball there, but rather gave up on it, didn't he? And
I think he was expecting Andy Murray to blow for a foul. He didn't. He's allowing a little bit of contact in this game, which I love to see. They weren't really that much in it either, and he was a bit surprised, but enabled Longstaff to be able to just get himself back on his feet and keep possession.
Yeah. Newcastle have it, 27 gone, 0-0. Mark Wilson with a former England man, Trevor Sinclair, here at Goodison Park.
Brilliant from Wilson again.
Yeah, holds it up nicely, gets it away, lovely first time ball from Targett. Joel Linton racing down the left, Godfrey comes across, goes past him, hits it, save, could be a tap in, and is a tap in, and Newcastle have scored, and it's Callum Wilson, right place, right time. It was his layoff that led to the move. Pickford made the save, but Wilson was there to tap it in. Disaster for Everton. Everton 0, Newcastle 1.
And that little bit of quality that's been missing for Everton. Newcastle showcasing it right there. Absolutely brilliant number 9 hold-up play by Callum Wilson. Gets the ball in the halfway line with his chest, chops a little ball inside, and then starts heading on into the office, which is his box. Switch of play to Joe Linton. He drives at the fullback. We've just been giving him praise, Godfrey. He drives at Godfrey, looks to put it in with his left foot, chops it inside, has a shot with his right foot. I think someone's got to get across there. That ball where he chops inside, it must be 5-6 yards away. There's no one supporting Ben Godfrey there. Someone's got to get across into that space. They don't. He gets his shot off. It's a decent save, and who's there to prod it home? your number 9 who started the move at the start, Callum Wilson. Brilliant play from Newcastle, and a little bit against the run of play. You've got to feel a bit sorry for Everton on that goal.
Well, it's 5 in 6 now for Callum Wilson, and he might be rotating the starting spot with Alexander Isak, but between them they're knocking the goals in, and plenty of them as well.
Yeah, 12th goal of the season there for Callum Wilson. He's not played every game, so that's a great return.
I was going to say, when you actually look at his starting stats, it's phenomenal what he's done this year. Callum Wilson, we know he's had problems with injuries, had to sit out a little bit. What have Everton got here? Can they come straight back? No, is the answer. And Joe Linton's got room in front of him again. His touch was heavy, and it invited Godfrey in, and Godfrey slides in, and again Joe Linton's holding that ankle.
He's very un-Brazilian, isn't he, Joe Linton? He's not one of them with all the little guile and all the, lovely touches. He is an absolute machine, and he's hard as nails as well. Every time he gets kicked, you don't see him staying down. He'll be back up on his feet and giving everything to this team.
He will. Everton defence is breached, and goals have been a problem. The problem for Newcastle is they're scoring plenty of them at the moment. The one thing that maybe Everton can cling on to is that Newcastle have conceded in their last 6 away games. Well, there's a few glum faces around Goodison Park now.
Understandable.
Concerned faces as Newcastle launch a free kick towards the edge of the Everton area.
I think there was a mistake there. I mean, the mistake you would look at, it's not the one-on-one situation between Joe Linton and the fact that he got the better of Ben Godfrey.
Well, here they are again down the right side. Ball into Wilson, headed it up in the air. It'll loop down under the bar, and Pickford collects it. You made a good point about the support for Godfrey on the Everton right. When Joe Linton cut inside him, there were 3 blue shirts and no one near enough to make a tackle.
Not near enough. And listen, I know that Joe Linton can cover the ground really well. He opens them long legs, and he's a quick boy, and he's a great athlete. But Idris Gueye was there. I think one of the central defenders, maybe Michael Keane, was there. If that is a big touch when he chops it inside, one of them's got to get across and make sure they're close enough to stop that shot. No one was anywhere near it, and that's why he was able to get that shot off, which I think was a decent save, but into a dangerous area by Jordan Pickford. And who was there? The person on the halfway line who started the move on the opposite side of the pitch, who sixth sense, knew to get into that area of the pitch, and that's where he picks up his goals. And talking about goals, Isak scored 10, and he's hardly started any games for Newcastle.
Yeah, here is Doucouré now, gets it into McNeil. McNeil just let it run under his boot, but no real problems. He gets possession back. Now he would have had it back, but Mikolenko's pass went awry, and now all of a sudden the groans are getting louder because the pressure is starting to build on Everton. They're in the bottom 3, and at the moment they are trailing at home as Willock pops up over on the right hand side. He's looking to work his way past 2, got past 1, but eventually outnumbered. Here now on the turn is Abdoulaye Doucouré, ball over the top looking for Calvert-Lewin. Shah does well to head it away, but it'll fall. Was that handball by Bruno Guimaraes? It looked like it.
Yeah. It's gone the other way.
He's given a free kick against Everton.
Yeah, I think Doucouré's fouled him afterwards because he believed it was a foul initially, where he tried to chip it over Guimaraes' head, and his arms got in the way. But again, I'm just looking at that transition when Everton win the ball. I feel the reaction on that transition from Iwobi is too slow. He's not really offering any threat down this right hand side. He needs to be making moves down this inside right and putting pressure on target and saying, if this ball comes out here, we're 1 against 1 and I'm going to deal with you.
Newcastle lead by a goal to 0. Callum Wilson with a goal. Long ball forward down the right. That's come off an Everton defender, and that's going behind for a corner kick. Again on the break, Newcastle looking a real threat. It came off Mikolenko, and it's gone behind for a Newcastle corner.
Yeah, I don't think, I'm looking at Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall there in the technical area for Newcastle. I don't think they're going to be too pleased with the pattern of play and the way the way the game's going. They'll be happy with the scoreline, but actually I think the hunger and the creativity and the desire to try and affect this game has all come from the players in blue. But the quality, although it's not been that much, has come from the players in white.
Well, Newcastle roared on by 3,000 fans over in the far side of the ground. Newcastle have got a corner. They lead by a goal to 0. It's going to be Targett who's going to swing it in, left-footed. This time he just put it into the box, deep to the far post, and it's headed away by Mikolenko, and it's going to go out for a corner on the near side. You are listening to Everton against Newcastle on Talksport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
I think one of the matchups I was dreading from an Everton perspective was the link up between Mykolenko and Almiron, but fortunately I think Idrissa Gueye's got a cross over that side whenever they've looked to penetrate down that side, and he's not been too much of a problem. But as the game gets stretched and players can't cover each other, that will be an interesting link up.
It will. Kieran Trippier's come across to take it, right footed, swings it into the 6-yard box, skims off ahead, it'll fall. Fabian Schär's going to keep it in on the right hand side. Is he going to launch the cross in? Well, he went to try and beat his man, he wins a throw in over on the far side that he done it to take quickly, and then decides he'll wait for teammates to arrive. 1-0 if you just joined us. Callum Wilson with a goal on 28 minutes that's put Newcastle in front here, and as it stands they'll be going 8 points clear of 5th and looking certainties for that top 4 finish and Champions League football at the end of the season. Well, eventually got back in play by Newcastle. Guimaraes on the far side has it. He's going to have to go all the way back inside his own half here, and eventually gets it away to Nick Pope, who comes racing out, gets it away to Targett, and Targett now will just have a touch. He's under pressure though here. Iwobi's done really well. Targett falls on the ball. Iwobi's nicked it off him. That's good play from Everton. What can they do? McNeil shoots from the edge of the area, but again it's straight into the path of Nick Pope, and it's a comfortable save. If he's going to beat him from there, you get the feeling he's going to have to go high trip, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean the first strike he had about 10 minutes ago was very good. It was vicious, but it was a good height. That one he didn't quite catch it as cleanly, and it's a really comfortable save for Nick Pope. But again, that press, when they really commit themselves and go together, Matt Targett looked very uncomfortable there, and he was dispossessed. I thought it could have been a foul for obstruction because he lay on top of the ball, but great play to make the press in the first place, and real good commitment from the Everton players.
Yeah, it's currently Everton 0, Newcastle 1. For the latest odds, head to 888 Sport, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Everton at 9-1, the draw 7-2, Newcastle 2-7. That's all thanks to 888 Sport. Made to challenge, made to debate, made to play. 18 plus begambleaware.org. It's 1-0 here. Newcastle have got it with Bruno Guimaraes. Oh, that was a risky pass there. He almost tried to pass it through Doucouré, and it hit Doucouré. Now here's Iwobi on the right. Iwobi just stands up the ball into the 6-yard box, partially cleared away. Nice little touch there from Almiron. Finds Wilson. Wilson though is challenged. That was a good tackle from Onana.
And that's that physicality and that athleticism that you've got when them two played, Doucouré and Onana. I think he was a target of West Ham. Decided to come to Everton, and when he's played, I think he's been really effective.
He has. 35 gone here. You're live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson with the former West Ham and England man Trevor Sinclair. And Newcastle leading by a goal to 0. Still, last I heard, was 0-0 over on the Talksport app. And they're underway as well. It's Southampton 0, Bournemouth 0, and Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Southampton simply have to win tonight. You feel if they're going to have any chance of staying in the Premier League. There's another foul here. This time it's Longstaff who's rolling around on the ground, and sort of saw one there. I think he's taken one in the back possibly.
Yeah, I mean, listen, shrinking violence, you don't need to be on this pitch because it's full-blooded, and this is a team that's shown a lot of pride in the performance tonight, wanting to try and affect this game and wanting to try and get some points out of it. Even though they're losing, they're putting themselves about, and I don't think there was much in that. Just again tried to bring the ball down. Longstaff went over the top of him, and it's not one of them ones where you almost see the player try and spear him when he's mid-air and they go underneath him. I think that was a genuine accident there by Idrissa Gueye.
And I think it was the fall, wasn't it, rather than any foul in it that caused the problem, but it was a free kick.
Winded.
He's up on his feet now. Can't tell you in the Championship, Cardiff lead at Rotherham. Rotherham 0, Cardiff 1, 20 minutes gone there.
The Bluebirds.
Huge game, that 19th against 20th in the Championship. Controversially, it was called off, wasn't it? A couple of weeks ago due to the rain. Here's Callum Wilson now. Keane goes across. He gets it away from Keane. Feeds the ball to Willock. Willock now, if he looks up, has got Joe Linton in the middle. Cross comes in. Keeper and defender went for it. And in the end, it was headed behind. And it was a crucial header. It was Iwobi. He didn't have time to wait, did he? He just had to get it away.
Absolutely. Listen, you might even hear the shout from Jordan Pickford there. But if it's on your head it. collide, whatever you do, head it and have an argument or have a discussion afterwards, and that's exactly what Iwobi did, and he dealt with it because he weren't sure whether Jordan Pickford was going to get there, and he dealt with it like every good defender was. But I think that's half the problem with Iwobi. He's so honest, he worked his socks off for the team, and going back, he just lacks that little bit of risk-taking going forward.
Here's a corner for Newcastle now. They're going to swing it in towards the near post, headed away by Doucouré, and it's out for a throw over on the far side. I can tell you that Manchester United lead over on Talksport. They have scored early. Jadon Sancho with a goal. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 1. That's live and exclusive on Talksport right now.
Here. Done quite well, Tottenham, to just be one down, haven't they?
Now, Trevor, now. Talk about kicking a team when they're down. Down at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, no, it's difficult. Listen, I've been there, beat at Old Trafford 7-1, we went 1-0 up as well, so I've been there, and there's only one way out of that, and that's hard work and sticking together.
Yeah, that's it. That's what they're going to have to do. Looks like their top 4 ambitions are done and dusted already. Here now is Longstaff, little back heel, tried to feed it in there to a teammate, ball whipped into the far post. Willock's got time, and not for the first time, he had time there to bring that down. He's miscontrolled it, Joe Willock. He'll be really disappointed with that.
Yeah, listen, he's a technical player and he will be disappointed with that, like you said, Mark, but he's a difficult one to deal with. He went with it with the outside of his right foot, and it's coming from the right to the left, and yeah, you can for me, when I see a player like that, I think, why don't you secure the ball and just keep the ball alive rather than trying to get it down and attack straight away? And probably the wrong option. He's still a young player, so he's still learning the game, and I'm sure as he learns from them mistakes, he'll start getting some more decisions right.
He had that phenomenal spell, didn't he, when he joined Newcastle? All those goals. 6 in 6, might have even been 7 in 7. Ball work forward, nicked by Guimaraes, who's pulled back, and Arna's going to get a yellow card for that one. There can be no complaints about that, because Bruno Guimaraes was on the charge there, and that was as cynical as it comes. And Arna now finds himself on a yellow card. 39 minutes into this one, Newcastle leading by a goal to 0.
And it seems like nothing, Mark, and it's not led to anything, and they've got plenty of men behind the ball, but one silly foul moving forward now, and Everton are down to 10 men, and that's the frustration we've given away. Not just giving away the cheap foul and getting the booking, but why are you trying something on the halfway line there unnecessarily? You're a holding midfielder or number 8, get the ball, play the way you're facing, and then make another angle, and you can proceed it on your back foot without taking any risks. And that's a little bit naive for me, that from Onana.
Yeah, wasn't it? Let's see, all back with Newcastle. Let's go back to that, Willie. It was 7 in 7 he got at the end of the season. What a run that is.
Well, I think that's the reason we signed him, isn't it, on a permanent. He was enjoying his football, the club were enjoying having him playing and scoring goals, and it suited everyone. He couldn't get in the Arsenal team, so why not?
Here's McNeil down the Everton left hand side, looks to put the ball in early. It was just behind Calvert-Lewin and just in front of Iwobi, and in the end it was cleared away. Newcastle have it far side. Callum Wilson's goal has them in the lead as the tackle goes flying in. Trippier's gone down. I must admit, I didn't see anything in that, but he's holding his knee.
Yeah, it's a good challenge, but it's one of them where the follow-through is going to catch the player. I'm sure as soon as Trippier seen that situation develop, he knew what was coming, but there was no way that he weren't going to take one for the team there.
Yeah. It's just a clash, isn't it?
Clash of knees, and listen, he's not the youngest, and I've been there, and it's usually the young player that comes out getting up and not even feeling it, and that's exactly the case.
Yeah, and in fairness, they both had eyes for the ball. That was a perfect 50-50.
Yeah, I don't think he's that kind of player either, Mikalenko. He's a wholehearted player, but I think that was a genuine attempt to win the ball. He did win the ball, and that's why Andy Mariner didn't give the foul, but that follow-through, we don't know how serious that can be, and I just hope for Trippier's season and for how well he's played for Newcastle, it's nothing too serious, but he does look in some kind of distress there.
Yeah, he does. He's just laying on his back. Eddie Howe and Jason Timber are in deep conversation. Trippier, if you like, was the first big signing, wasn't he, for Newcastle after the takeover?
Yeah, I remember having quite an abrupt conversation or debate with Simon Jordan. He was digging me out saying he's just gone for the money, and I said, listen, if you know Newcastle, like I know Newcastle from the mid-90s, and you get a good team up there, he won't be playing for the money, he'll be playing for the city, he'll be playing for the fans, and that's exactly how it's turned out. He's been brilliant for Newcastle.
Yeah, yes indeed. Still 0-0 in the big game at the bottom. Southampton-Bournemouth. You can listen to that live on the Talksport app. Newcastle lead here at Goodison Park by a 1-0, and over on Talksport, Manchester United lead Spurs by a 0-0. Jadon Sancho with a goal. Trippier's really hobbled off on that far side, and not too much action on the Newcastle bench, so only one sub warming up, so you would think he'll be okay to carry on. He's hobbling on the sideline, but I'm sure we're getting plenty of love of the Newcastle travelling support. I mentioned earlier 3,000 of them here. I saw a stat earlier on this week that there's not been one away ticket returned at Newcastle. They've sold out everywhere they have been, and that's only going to continue, isn't it?
Yeah, that's brilliant. And listen, it kind of reflects everything that's going on at the football club. You know, there was a little bit of controversy because of where the people that bought the football club were from. But apart from that, I think they've conducted themselves brilliantly, and the business that they've done from the recruitment to bringing in Dan Ashworth and all the rest of it. I think it's enriched the Premier League.
Yeah, ball into the edge of the area here, and Decore's going to let that roll out. Listen to that roar here at Goodison Park. It's a corner for Everton, and a chance as we go into the final 60 seconds of normal time for Everton to try and level things up. Iwobi will go across to take it. This is a big chance.
It is a big chance, and it'll be a great time to equalise. You know, I mentioned it earlier, they've got some serious size in the squad, and they'll fancy the chances to try and get the first or second contact with us.
It's whipped in near post, there's a chance. Keane was unmarked. He was wide of goal, and he just tried to flick it on, but he got too much on it. He went behind, but Michael Keane, who has scored in the Premier League, he gets a better contact on that. That could have been dangerous.
Yeah, he just got, like you said, Mark, he just got probably a little bit past the post. It was an in-swinging corner at the near post, and I don't know where the Newcastle defenders were. Maybe that was Trippier's job to do that near post spaceman, but it was wide open, and he's got there first, and he just needs to catch it with the outside of his foot to hit the target, and he just gets too much, gets it with his laces, and it harmlessly goes wide of the near post. But good ball in, and that'll give the home fans a little bit of confidence that they can recreate against this Newcastle side.
Wilson again does well despite the attention of two blue shirts. Target went racing in to win it. Botman will get the ball back, but 3 added on minutes here. We've had a couple of stoppages in play. Everton 0, Newcastle 1. Newcastle leading through that Callum Wilson goal. Jim Harris is appended again. Referee says play on. He's not buying it. Now Everton have got a chance, but again the ball too soon, and his hands on heads, and it could be even worse as Wilson was racing through, but Tarkowski just had first run on it, and Pickford will hammer it downfield, and Botman's got time to get a call. It's a lovely cushion header back to Nick Pope.
Yeah, excellent play. Good positional sense. You know Jordan Pickford can kick it far. He got the distance right. It was just over his head, and he just flicked it back into the hands of Nick Pope, and excellent defending by the two central defenders.
All the way through to Pickford down the other end. So Newcastle lead here. Manchester United lead at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Goalless Southampton, Bournemouth, and Cardiff lead at Rotherham. So good night for the away teams so far. Reminder, what a day on Saturday. We mentioned that Game Day Live kicks off live and exclusive on Talksport. Palace against West Ham. Well, Brentford take on Brentford Forest.
Great win for Forest last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, they
Gibbs White and Johnson have been so impressed with them two young players.
All played forward. Well done, of course, to Sheffield United back in the Premier League. Here now is Decore now. Decore comes forward, feeds it out to Iwobi. Iwobi on the right, puts in the ball, and again it's cleared away. He's had some chances down this right-hand side, Iwobi, but he can't find a teammate for love nor money. Can Gay do any better? He's 25 yards out, tries to float it in. Calvert-Lewin never looked like getting on the end of that, and it's all the way back to Pickford.
Yeah, Matt, they've been in some good situations. I don't fancy target against Iwobi, so I'd like Iwobi to take some more risks. You know, when he gets in them one-on-one situations, drive at him, see if he can drop a shoulder and get past him, and then drive into the 18-yard box. He's taking the easy option for me, and again, it goes into my way of thinking, I don't think Iwobi likes to play on the wings. I think he likes to play in the middle where he's getting second balls and he's got good ability and passing range on the ball and great energy in there to break things up as well. I mean, that could be possibly somewhere Sean Dyche could make a change, bring on a different winger.
Well, here's a chance now. Calvert-Lewin's played in through on goal. Calvert-Lewin chips it over the keeper. Now is he onside? Dominic Calvert-Lewin has finished it, but the flag quickly dampens down any hopes of an equaliser here. But that was a lovely finish from Calvert-Lewin, who was in on goal. It was a beautiful pass. McNeil it was. I'll tell you what, they'll have another look at this. There's a player in the middle.
It's quite close. I mean, we've seen the one last night, John Stones, where it looked offside, but then when you look at the clip, there was a foot. I mean, he could be onside here because you can't go by his arm, which obviously looks offside. And I'm sat next to Clinton Morrison here, who's doing broadcasting for another channel, and he is all over that finish because that was an absolutely stunning dinked finish by a centre forward that looks like he scored a lot of goals in this league.
Oh, if he is off, it's going to be inches. Sean Dyche looks on. Goodison Park holds its breath. Is this a huge moment in the Everton season? Is it an equaliser for Dominic Calvert-Lewin? The finish was out of the top drawer. The question is he onside? It was Botman's foot, centre of the field, that might be playing him onside.
It's going to be his knee or his shoulder line on the sleeve, one or the other, because it can't be his arm. It's got to be his knee, his left knee, or his shoulder line on his jersey. Yeah, and the gut feeling for me, Trevor, he's just a fraction offside, isn't he? I don't know, Mark. I hope he's not, because that finish deserves to be given.
Oh, here we go. He's offside. It's his shoulder.
Oh, wow.
It's his shoulder that is offside.
He needs to get shorter sleeves, I'm telling you.
Oh, he shakes his head. What will please Everton? Obviously not the fact the goal's been short off. The pass from McNeil, but the finish was brilliant, wasn't it?
Amazing. I mean, that doesn't look like a centre-forward that's been out for most of the season. That looks like a centre-forward that's fit, that understands movement and triggers when to go, and when he gets in them positions is as clinical as they come.
Well, that was pretty much the last act to what has been an entertaining first half, but a huge 45 minutes ahead for Everton, who've got to turn this game around, Trevor Sinclair, or they go to Leicester on Talksport on Monday night, really knowing that they have to win. Listen, they have to win at Leicester anyway, because that is a 6-pointer. Leicester City being the team just above them at the moment, 1 point better off and played a game more. But you look at the fixtures and this is not the game that Sean Dyche is putting his hopes on Everton staying in the Premier League. You've got to look at the Leicester game, you've got to look at the Wolves game, and you've got to look at the Bournemouth game. I think that if Everton win them 3 games, they stay in the Premier League, and I think they're more than capable of doing that, especially now you're seeing the physicality and the quality of the players that have come back into this side, mainly Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Well, Callum Wilson's goal has Newcastle on their way to 4th, at least in the Premier League, it would seem. They and Manchester United both winning tonight, straight from the restart. Calvert-Lewin went down theatrically, edge of the Newcastle penalty area. Ball now over on the far side, Everton's right hand side. We'll give you the teams in a moment, but Everton starting on the front foot here. Sean Dyche down below us, looks on. The Newcastle backroom staff deep in conversation with the 4th official as the ball works its way to the near side. Trippier thought that there was a foul. He wins it back, just cushions it down the line to Almiron, who then finds Longstaff, who turns away from Onana and finds Bruno Guimaraes, and now Joe Linton is racing through. He's got the supporter Willock to his left, gets it to Willock weaves through one, great save from Pickford, and it goes behind for a corner. Well, Joe Willock weaved his way past one. It may have even come off Tarkowski. That was a great block on the line. Newcastle inches away from going 2-0 up.
Yeah, brilliant again from Joe Linton. He's a problem, isn't he? He moves so well with the ball. It's an absolutely outstanding block. I think Jordan Pickford's beaten, and I think it's Mikolenko who clears it off the line. Whoever it is, it's a fantastic clearance off the line by the Everton player, but Joe Linton causing so many problems with his travelling skills with the ball.
Corner Newcastle. towards the edge of the area. It'll fall here for Almiron, who hit it first time, but it balloons up in the air, but Newcastle have won it back. We'll look over on the Newcastle left-hand side. Here's Bruno Guimaraes now. Gets it out wide on that left-hand side. Wilson waits in the box for a delivery. It's deep, though, towards Fabian Shea. He was beaten in the air. Everton should clear this away, and they thump it up towards halfway, and Sean Dyche is imploring his team to come out here, but Sharp's played onside by the person clearing the ball. Crossed it in. There were appeals for a handball from the Newcastle fans, not the players there. Edge of the area here. Mikalenko almost crossed it into his own penalty area, and now it's going to be cleared away, and Everton just having to endure a nervy start as they knock the ball out. Let's give you the teams. Pickford in goal, then Godfrey, Keane, Tarkowski and Mikalenko the back four. Anana, who was booked in that first half, is alongside Idrissa Gana Gueye, with Iwobi, Doucouré and McNeil behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And for Newcastle, Pope in goal, Trippier, Shah, Botman and Targett the back four. Longstaff, Guimaraes and Willock in the middle, with Almiron and Joe Linton either side of Wilson, who has his 12th goal of the season. 1-0 Newcastle lead, but an early warning for Everton that Newcastle are a threat on the break, but here come Everton trying to break themselves forward down the other end. They'll feed it to Iwobi now. Iwobi looking for runners around him, puts in the cross. It was just in front of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That was a better ball in. I think he's got a right to expect someone to be attacking that area in front of goal, but it's behind for a goal kick. Still 1-0. Yeah, brilliant cross. He takes it. It looks like he's going to put it in with his right foot from the right-hand side. He gets the ball off from Ben Godfrey. He chops it onto his left and puts an in-swinger in with his left-hand side, and it's not loads of whip on it. And I just feel if Dominic Calvert-Lewin had his timing where he's just popping out with that back four as he step up, and then he's ready to go. I think he gets on the end of it. Just wasn't ready for that cross, and yeah, it just begging went out for a goal kick. 1-0 here at Goodison Park. Here's Joe Linton now coming forward, looking now to feed it down the left hand side. Tarkowski will fancy he will get there first, so he can watch it out for a goal kick. And we've had almost 4 minutes of this second half, but Willock already more involved, probably attacking wise, than he was in the entire first half. Yeah, I think he's had the rocket, hasn't he? You know, in a polite way off Eddie Howe and Jason Tinsdale. You know, he weren't good enough in that first half for me. You know, the game passed him by. And if you want to stay, like I said, if you want to stay in this Newcastle side, they're so successful and the competition for places is so harsh. If you don't play well, you're going to be out the team, and I think he would have had a bit of a rocket at half time, and he's come out and he's had a good reaction. I think Jacob Murphy will be sat on the bench wondering what on earth he's got to do. 2 goals at the weekend. Oh, man. Mark, his face rested, surely he's rested. His face was unbelievable when he scored that second goal. I was like, wow, that is what football and sport, live sport gives you. His face was an absolute picture. And here's a Woden trying to drive in edge of the area, denied, falls to Anana. Nice little nutmegs there from Iwobi. Mikalenko will cross the ball in. He might win a corner. He does. There's a little bit more urgency for Everton, Trevor, to get the ball into the box now. We've seen Iwobi down the right, now Mikalenko down the left, both getting it in earlier. I just think it's got to be put in the right areas, because you look at the size of Shah and Botman, and they're both 6 foot plus, and anything in and around them which has not got quality, and it's food and drink to them. Ball going to be swung in from the corner. It's a deep corner, too deep in fact. Tarkowski won't keep that in. Joe Linton will watch it roll out over on the far side. 5 gone, second half, and it remains here. Newcastle leading by a goal to 0. Yeah, and that's not good enough quality. You know, them are the big situations where you can make a difference. Set pieces, I've mentioned it a few times this evening. Everton have got a huge amount of height in their side. You have to put the ball into areas where players can attack it, and it's a ridiculous waste of opportunity there for Everton. It is indeed. Ball out over on the far side. 1-0 here, and wow, this is a huge goal over on the Talksport app. It's Southampton 0, Bournemouth 1. Tavernier with a goal that may well secure Bournemouth another year in the Premier League, and it may consign their South Coast rivals Southampton to the drop. A huge game. It is massive. All three away teams winning in the Premier League. Remember, you can listen Southampton Bournemouth live on the Talksport app right now. Crossfield ball. Joe Linton races onto it. He's got Wilson in the inside. He just couldn't quite control it. Here is Joe Linton now. Pulls it back. He was looking for Guimaraes into the area. It's partially cleared. And Longstaff now finds a nice ball here to Trippier. Trippier gets it off Almiron. Looks to stand up. The cross. Wilson was leaping. Willett was jumping, but neither of them could get it. And look at Iwobi go here. Iwobi pulled back, bundles over the defender. He could have squared it, gives it to Calvert-Lewin instead. Great save from Nick Pope down low to his right hand side. Well, credit the referee there. He allowed Iwobi to play on. He's going to be a booking over on the far side. I think it was Target who tried to pull him back. Iwobi just brute strength shoved him over. Referee said play on. If there's one criticism, Trevor, should he have squared it instead of feeding it to Calvert-Lewin?
I'm not sure. Listen, I think when you've got a player who thrives on goals and makes good movement, I think your responsibility as a provider is to provide him with that opportunity. The only thing I would say is when he has put that pass in for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, can he show a bit more urgency to get on the end of a rebound? And he just kind of cruises towards the edge of the box. I think if he makes a real effort to try and get on the edge of this, like look at him cruising there, really go for it. He might be the first person to get to that rebound and knock it in.
Well, that's got the crowd out of their seats here. Throwing for Everton over on the far side. It was a fine save from Pope. All partially cleared. I get the feeling there's more goals in this one.
Absolutely. And was it Target that was booked, Mark?
Yes, it was. Here now is Keane down the right side, drills it across goal. Well, he's got two blue shirts waiting in the 6-yard box, and Keane has just blazed it over from a silly angle.
What an opportunity. And you know what? And we've seen him here score absolute worldies late on in games to earn Everton points. That was a centre half in an area and just getting a little bit too excited and letting the occasion of that situation get to him. And what a fabulous situation that was for Everton to be in. And yeah, shame it was wasted by Michael Keane.
Newcastle, that's a shove. Well, that looked like a shove from Tarkowski on Wilson.
Yeah,
they get away with one there, Everton.
I agree.
53 gone. Live on Talksport 2. Everton 0, Newcastle 1. But both sides have had chances. Calvert-Lewin denied by Nick Pope, and at the other ends, Willett denied by Tarkowski clearance off the line.
I'm just looking at that scoreline at the moment, Southampton Bournemouth. Gary O'Neill has done an unbelievable job there. If he keeps them up, I think that is an absolute incredible job that he's done.
7 points above the drop zone as it stands. There's a long way to go in that game yet, but there will be 7 points clear of the drop zone. As Everton having to defend. Here now is Joe Linton on the left-hand side again. Willett trying to engineer an opening. Will get it back here. Can he get in behind Iwobi? He does. Can he find a teammate? No, he doesn't, because it's cleared away at the near post. Guimaraes will head it out to Joe Linton wide on the left. Tries to dance along the byline. There's another all-in wrestling match that the referee's going to judge against Joe Linton, much to the angst of the 3,000 Newcastle fans over on the far side of the field.
Yeah, I do feel that Andrew Mariner he's been quite kind with his decisions towards Everton, so the fans certainly can't be having a go at him, because he has done really well for me in certain situations.
He has indeed. Bournemouth, are they about to take a huge step towards Premier League survival? It's on the Talksport app right now. Tottenham's European hopes continue to slip through their fingers. They're behind at home on Talksport to Manchester United. Here, Newcastle lead by a goal, but I get the feeling one might not be enough tonight.
There's plenty of fights done with Everton, isn't there? They're still at it. The players still have that belief. The fans, you can feel it in the crowd. They still have that belief that they can get something out of this game.
The worry for Goodison Park is if Newcastle get the second. As Trippier wanted Pope to come and get it, and he didn't, and Pope will clear it, and Trippier just has a look at him. Almiron can't control it. Dwight McNeil will pick it up. He gets it away to Gay. He goes through the centre circle.
That's the problem there. I mean, when he's going into them areas there, just again, you need Iwobi to be in a position where he can receive the ball, and it was almost impossible to get Iwobi the ball. His movement has to be better. I'm sure Sean Dyche and his coaching staff will be looking at that and thinking, how can we get him into positions where he can receive the ball without having to have a fight with the defender.
Calvert-Lewin, he couldn't control it. Trippier just knocks it long and out for a throw-in. Sean Dyche will watch the ball go by. 11 gone second half. It's still 1-0 Newcastle. Newcastle going to 62 points. It will be 8 points clear of Aston Villa and have a game in hand. So in a commanding position in their battle for Champions League football. Ball over the top. Calvert-Lewin looked offside, but he's going to play on here. He's going to bring it down, and he tried the audacious chip. It might yet fall here. A chance at the far post for Doucouré. Doucouré has the shot, and it's blocked, and it goes behind. But then the offside flag went up. So again, we have that situation where we play on. It looked to me like he was offside, Calvert-Lewin. But again, should Doucouré have done better?
He should have done. I think not so much with a shot, but with picking out his teammate quicker. He had options. He went from a ridiculous angle. Again, that looks tight to me. Obviously, there was no goal at the end of it, so it won't be looked at by VAR, but that did look tight. He is making good movement. There, you see him, he gets the ball out of his feet. Pick out McNeil there, put it on his right peg, let him have a swing at it from a miles better angle.
Almiron cut out by Mikalenko. Good challenge by Trippier, wins it back. Here's Almiron now. He's got Longstaff going past. Well, it looks a strong challenge. The referee says Mikalenko's challenge was fair. Longstaff was having none of that.
Yeah, I think the line judge has got that right. I think it's a slide tackle and it's ricocheted off Longstaff, and he's given the right call. Throw into Everton.
Everton 0, Newcastle 1. Callum Wilson with a goal on 28 minutes. Here now is Willett, feeds it to Callum Wilson, edge of the area, tries to go past one, feeds it to Willett, back to Wilson. Way at the pass, Joe Linton was unmarked at the far post, couldn't find him. They'll find him now with target. Here's Bruno Guimaraes, tries to slide it through. Longstaff to the byline, pulls it back into the side netting. And the referee, well, he's been surrounded by Newcastle players here.
Listen, Matt, as he's put the ball into the area, Tarkowski has absolutely wiped him out. And you don't see it often, referees look at that as being a foul, but he's certainly left a little bit on the forward there.
Well, he's down, Longstaff getting treatment. We've not seen a replay of it.
I think he wants to stay down to
so
give
the VAR
a chance to look at it. Have a look at this.
Let's have a look at it again. Is that not a penalty?
Listen, by the letter of the law it should be, but you see this kind of challenge all the time, and I don't often see referees or VAR look at it and say, you know what, you've missed one there, go back. I think we have seen one this season.
Hold on, I think they're having a look at this, and I think this is going to be a penalty, Trevor. I think that's a terrible tackle.
Yeah, I mean, it's a terrible tackle. It's one of them where at times you almost feel as a defender, because the ball's going to go in the box, you've got a 3-1.
Well, it was Longstaff, his cross went into the side netting, and they've checked it and they're going to play on. Well, I'm surprised.
Yeah, it happens a lot though, Mark. I see that challenge happen quite a lot, and the foul is never given.
Well, here's Everton up the other end. They might get a bounce of the ball. McNeil hits it first time. It hit Botman on the backside, and it won't quite go out for a corner. Trippier did really well there, and Almiron tries to clear it away. Everton hanging on at times, but they're a real threat going the other way. This is a really good game of football. Goodison Park. Oh, now Longstaff's gone down again, and now he's going to go down and waste some more time. Oh, now, and Garnegay can't do that. He's sat down on the field injured, and Garnegay's come up and try to lift him off the floor.
Yeah, two players have done it, and they're trying to get him at it. They're trying to get Longstaff off it. Listen, Longstaff's playing the game as well, because he could easily walk 1 yard off the pitch. He's playing the game as well, but listen, he might be injured. When there's a player down injured, you're not allowed to go over there and pick the player up. It's unprofessional and it's dangerous.
This is boiling up, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think there's going to be a few challenges flying about there.
Well, we had some fireworks ahead of kick-off. We're getting a few now on the field. Newcastle leading. Everton desperate for a point, at least. It's so finely, but if Everton were to score, I think with anything over 10 minutes left, you could see them going out and winning the game.
Listen, they've been the better side in a lot respect. They've just not been as clinical up till now.
Ball out for a throw-in after Doucouré stopped it going out for a goal kick.
is this going to be the time Ellis Sims comes on and makes a name for himself in a huge game where they desperately need something in that final third?
Well,
he played his part at Blackpool, he went up to Scotland, did really well. I think he was at Sunderland or one of the other
7 goals this season at Sunderland.
Yeah.
Very useful centre forward.
Brilliant at Blackpool.
Yeah. Ball here with
the big lump as well. You know, he's not
big athlete. Another free kick, this time against Callum Wilson, who bundled over Tarkowski. I can tell you Manchester United have doubled their advantage. Marcus Rashford scores again. It's Tottenham 0, Manchester United 2. Earlier on, Barcelona held Chelsea by to a 1-1 draw. That sent Barcelona through to the Women's Champions League final. Who will join them? We've got live commentary of the second semi-final to come, as Everton now will whip the ball in towards the far post. It's headed back towards goal. Nick Pope comes. Now it's Everton who are appealing for a penalty that doesn't come.
Yeah, I think it was the fans more than the players. Absolutely nothing in that. Good delivery and first contact won by Tarkowski, but again Newcastle have got big lads in there and the second contact was theirs and it was the goalkeeper. Nick Pope showing that kind of authority that you need a goalkeeper to show, and coming and just taking all the pressure off his defence.
Yeah, we'll find out on Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, Arsenal against Wolfsburg in the Women's Champions League semi-final second leg. It's live on Talksport 2. Joe Shannon with the Sheffield United women's striker Courtney Swinton-Kirk for that one. Can Arsenal make it to the Champions League final? Chelsea's hopes over after they drew earlier on. Rotherham 1, Cardiff 1 in the Championship. Ball played forward. Joe Linton wins the header. Almiron tried to flick it on here and he'll find a teammate. And coming forward now is Wilson. He's going to hit it, but sliced it well wide. It was an awkward angle. Never really wrapped his boot round it. And it's behind for a goal kick. We've got 27 minutes remaining here on Talksport 2. We've got live golf to come tonight as well from Mexico on the PGA Tour. We've also got coverage of the NFL draft coming up as well tonight on the Talksport network. Dwight McNeil has it. He wins a throwing down this near side.
Yeah, did well there. I think that was the best outcome he could have got. Dominic Calvert-Lewin again, sharp as attack, getting on the ball, holding it up really well.
Ball into the edge of the area. Here it's played forward now. Oh, Longstaff. Now there could be trouble here. Shot comes in edge of the area. Longstaff stuck a boot out. Then Calvert-Lewin went down. It was right on the edge of the area. But
I'm not sure he's got anything on the ball there. I don't think there's been that many claims from the players, but I'm sure VAR will look at this. Yeah, he got something on the ball. Luckily, because he's right on the edge inside the box there. And if he mistimes that by a millisecond, that's a penalty to Everton.
Well, ifs, buts and maybes. It remains Newcastle leading by a goal to 0. Longstaff been in the war second half. When will the managers look to make changes? Again, as you said it, Trevor, there's not that much on the bench, is there, for Everton? Begovic, the goalkeeper, Patterson, Gray, Mina, Maupay, Davis, Cody, Garner and Sims. So I guess Maupay, Garner and Sims could come on and have an attacking threat.
I wouldn't be taking Dominic Calvert-Lewin off for anything to do with his performance, but two games in, what's it been?
And Sean Dyche said at the weekend they got more minutes out of him than they thought they would.
Absolutely, so they might think to protect him and bring him off for Maupay, or they might even put Ellis Sims up there to see if he can continue the great work that Dominic Calvert-Lewin's been doing whilst on the pitch.
Yeah, Anthony Gordon on the bench for Newcastle. Will we see him tonight?
I don't think he's got... Well, I think he's got quite a few enemies from the way that he left the football club, and I don't think he needs to enhance that. So if I was Eddie Howe, I'd probably let him stay. But listen, it's not about that, is it? It's about getting points for Newcastle United and finishing as high up the Premier League as you can. And if they need him, I'm sure he'll
Jacob Murphy is about to come on, as Newcastle have won a corner over on the far side. And are we about to see that change? No, but Murphy, who got 2 goals at the weekend, is about to come on.
Almiron's not been great, has he?
He's not had a lot of the ball, though, has he?
No, but listen, you can say that, but if it's down to me, I'm demanding it from my teammates. If I'm not in the game, I'm going in positions on the pitch where I can get the ball, and he's just not. He's almost let this game pass him by, Almiron, and maybe that's why Murphy's been playing more.
Yeah, well, here comes the corner. Newcastle with a chance to double their advantage. Could be a huge goal for them. Ball whipped in towards the near post. Tarkowski with a powerful header away. The blue shirts go sprinting forward as Willock picks it up on halfway. He's going to look to put it back in. It looks too deep. Calvert-Lewin is hoping this goes out, but it hasn't gone out. And there is Almiron, but he couldn't quite get on the end of it, and it's behind.
I think he's misjudged that, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's a centre forward, and he's trying to let that run out of play, and he's slightly got his body positioning wrong, and I think that sums up Almiron's performance. He gets there, reads it, and then just lets it run out of play himself, and it's just been one of them nights for him.
It has. Here you go, Everton forward again. Dwight McNeil on the Everton left-hand side. So he score a cracker here on Talksport 2 for Burnley. A couple of years ago, as Tarkowski was almost dispossessed by Wilson, it's back to Pickford. Pickford decides he wants to have a dribble, and he goes right-footed out on the full. You are listening to Everton against Newcastle on Talksport 2 with Now Sports. Don't forget that with Now Sports, you can stream the Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
I think the way that Everton have played has been quite brave, because if you look at the skill set of Almiron, if you look at the skill set of Willock, and if you look at the skill set of Callum Wilson, I think them three players are quicker than the four defenders that Everton have got. So for Everton to press high and force this game to be a high intensity game, and force Newcastle to at times play under pressure, that's a really brave strategy, because if they do get it right and play that ball over the top, and Jordan Pickford's starting position is not right, and they get the ball into them areas, as a foot race, I think the Newcastle players get there first. So you have to give kudos to Sean Dyche and his players for executing it. This has been a really brave performance up till now, but still, if it stays the result as it is at the moment, they go away with no points.
It is still Everton 0, Newcastle 1. Newcastle just made a double change. Dan Burn has replaced Matt Targett, and Jacob Murphy has replaced Miguel Almiron. And now Newcastle looking to go over the top. Wilson's looking to get Murphy in. Wilson, though, will get on the end of his own flick on. Looks for a give and go with Murphy, edge of the area. Murphy into the penalty area, right hand side, puts the cross in, trying to win himself a corner. I think he has done as well. It is a corner kick. We've got, 22 minutes remaining for the latest odds. Head over to 888 Sport, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage. Well, right now you can get Everton at 12 to 1, the draw at 4 to 1, Newcastle at 1 to 4. That's all thanks to 888 Sport. Made to challenge, made to debate, made to play. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
I think both Dan Burn and Murphy are not going to be worried about the performances that they've seen for the players that have come in for them. You know, it's been substandard for me, both players, and that's why they find themselves back on the bench.
Corner comes in. It's headed behind by Everton in front of the Sir Philip Carter Park stand, away to our right hand side. It's quiet around Goodison Park. 3,000 Geordies over on the far side in their black and white shirts looking on. Can Newcastle put this game away? Trippier with a corner kick. Floats it in towards the penalty spot. Plenty of white shirts arriving. It'll fall on the volley. And the volley comes in. What a save. Pickford somehow keeps it out. Willock it was. The ball almost landed behind him. He got it on the instant and he fired the volley. And Pickford, who must have seen that late, somehow kept it out.
Elite play all round. Great corner. Good defending. First contact was the Everton player. It's come out to the edge of the 18-yard box, and Joe Willock's first touch is unbelievable, and he'll be devastated with that because he's volleyed it.
Here's the corner in again, headed up in the air. Everton can't quite clear their lines. Oh, they get a chance, but Gay missed his header. All cleared forward. Decore's after it. Decore causing problems. That's like an up and under that. In the Six Nations, someone get underneath that. Somebody did. It was Mikolenko. Just got a bit scrappy. Can Iwobi get the ball down? No, he thumps it high in the air. Decore will give chase. Trippier actually did really well to bring that down, and then the ball out of play by Gay on the near side. We've got 20 minutes left.
Yeah, just a little bit excitable there by Gay. He's got to get hold of that. He knows better than that. You know, there's no real pressure on the ball. He could get that down and start the move again, and he just going back to that volley, his first touch with his instep, Joe Willock sets himself perfectly from 18 yards out, and he whips a volley. Onana, high foot.
Onana has already been booked. Has caught Wilson. Referee.
He's got to be careful, Mark, and that's what I was saying at half time. He could be the one that makes way because he's got a yellow card, and that is part of his game, that's part of his makeup, to go and make them challenges, nick them second balls and give the ball to players who can play. And yeah, I think he's quite fortunate again, ref Andy Mariner giving him the benefit of the doubt there and letting him away from that, because I've seen yellow and red cards given for challenges like that.
Neil Maupay about to come on for Everton, not scored since August. Willock brings it down over on the far side. Joe Linton, Wilson, Murphy, Waite, Guimaraes did well to hold on to it. Here's Willock again, level with the edge of the area, buys himself a bit of space, drives into the area, pulls it back, and it's headed in. Joe Linton sending Newcastle to the top four. Lovely header, great work from Willock, and Joe Linton scores again. It's Everton 0, Newcastle 2.
Yeah, I've said it all night, he's been a real thorn in this Everton side with his movement, with the way that he can carry the ball, open them legs with his athleticism and pace. And this time it was Joe Willock who's a provider. Good run to the byline, dinks the ball back just to the edge of the 6-yard box, and who was it? Who's there unmarked, showing his athleticism again, getting on the end of it, downward header. 2-0 to Newcastle, and we really find it difficult to see Everton getting anything out of this game, and the Newcastle fans in the corner there are absolutely going mad.
There would only be one question here, is did Willock kick the ball in as he went to the byline? Yeah, we've seen it, he did, and he couldn't miss Joe Linton, but it's nice to see him get another goal. 8th of the season, that's 4 in 6 for Joe Linton.
Yeah, he's on fire. I mean, he's been brilliant all night, you know, he's probably the standout player on the pitch with the way that he's getting hold of the ball, you know, grabbing this game by the scruff of its neck and really dominating it at times, the way that he moves with the ball.
Well, Maupay has come on for Onana, so a change that maybe you would have made a little bit earlier has now been made, and Alexander Isak is about to come on. Longstaff's come down again, he's getting the rounds of the kitchen off the Goodison Park faithful. Well, this is just what Everton need, 2-0 down, and they're bringing on a man who's firing in goals for fun in Alexander Isak.
And that's the strength and depth, isn't it? That's the difference between the two sides. And let's get it right, it's not like Everton have not paid or spent the money. They have spent a lot of money over the last 5-6 seasons under the new ownership of Mashiri. They've not spent it well. Whether that's down to the director of football, whether it's down to the head of recruitment, I do not know, but they haven't bought well. And you look at the quality on the side, and it doesn't show 400, 500, 600 million pounds worth of money that's been spent.
Certainly doesn't. Isak hasn't come on yet. Sean Longstaff's gone off the field and Alexander Isak hasn't come on, so the substitution technically hasn't happened yet. Newcastle are down to 10 at the moment, confusion on the sideline. Now he does come on. Not sure what happened there.
Maybe the board went down, technical glitch, and
maybe
the linesman's allowed him to come on.
2-0, 16 minutes remaining, live on Talksport 2. Newcastle heading towards the top 4 for definite as it stands. McNeil did well on the ground, but it's played forward. Wilson again wins the ball under heavy pressure, and now the break could be on, Great challenge, Tarkowski.
Brilliant.
That could have been a saver because they were bursting away down the middle of the field, Newcastle there. But Everton lead by 2, trail by 2. Callum Wilson and Joe Linton with the goals for Newcastle. And Everton are deep in trouble now at the bottom of the Premier League. The only team below them at the moment is Southampton, who are behind on the Talksport app to Bournemouth. Here goes Bruno Guimaraes now, looking to put the game to bed. Feeds it wide here. Willock gets out of the way. Wilson has curled it in from the edge of the box. What an outstanding goal. He has beaten Pickford. All ends up right in the top corner. Wilson has his second. Newcastle have their third. And Everton are in deep trouble now. It's Everton 0, Newcastle 3.
And that's the difference in class. Guimaraes driving with the ball, plays a little no-look ball into Wilson's feet. He gets the ball out of his feet onto his right-hand side from about 20 yards out and bends it in the top corner. I think there might have been a slight deflection, but that is class. And you know what? I know they've not been dominant in this game, as in they've not created loads of chances and they've not been on the ball all the time. It's been about 60% possession for Newcastle. But where at moments within this game, Guimaraes just picks the ball up in space there. This ball to Wilson just stays onside. His first touch, brilliant. Second touch, ta-da. Jordan Pickford, no chance, and that's how clinical they are, and that's why these forwards, and players in these forward positions, that's why they get paid all the big bucks, because they make the massive difference in the side.
Well, he scored a double here 2 years ago, Callum Wilson. He scored another one here today, and Sean Dyche can only look on. Callum Wilson, that is an absolutely exquisite finish, right in the top corner. He salutes the Newcastle crowd. Well, Alexander Isak had just come on, and he says to his teammate, "Hey, have a look at that, Alexander. What do you make of that one?"
Yeah,
there's a real rivalry. They are forcing each other on, aren't they?
And you know what? The biggest thing is, Mark, we're not seeing Wilson breaking down with injuries because he's playing too much. So they've got two genuine number 9s who are in competition for that number 9 shirt. They're both on the pitch at the moment, but how refreshing is that for Newcastle, who've really been chomping on the bit to have a better squad and to spend some money in the transfer market for them loyal fans. And the ownership has changed and they've had that opportunity, and aren't they enjoying it?
They are. It could be getting worse, because here comes Alexander Isak now. He's on the left-hand side of the area, little back heel, finds Willock. Willock drives to the byline again, puts the cross in, it'll fall to Isak, hits it, and it's deflected, and it goes behind. Well, Willock's second half has been a completely different player, hasn't he, for Newcastle?
Yeah, I think that dressing down that I feel he must have got, because he was very passive in that first half performance, and not the player that we're seeing score them 7 goals in 10 games at the end of that season for Newcastle when he signed for the club and convinced them to sign him at the football club. And he was really quiet in that first half, but second half he's been excellent.
Corner for Newcastle. Is there more damage to come? They've been firing in the goals recently. Great corner, deflected behind at the near post. You are listening to Everton against Newcastle on Talksport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. So it's Car Finance 24/7 today. Ellis Sims is about to come on at 3-0 down. It feels too little too late, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
What
does.
was he supposed to do, the youngster?
No.
12 minutes left.
It's a tough one.
Well, they put 6 on Spurs at the weekend. They put 3 on Everton, and there might be more to come. Ball whipped in, flicked on, great save Pickford. Great save Pickford. I think Newcastle were hoping that had gone over the line, but Pickford stood strong on his own line. That is a great save.
Excellent save. And listen, we know he's a great shot stopper, and he's shown that from time to time over the last 5 or 6 years in an Everton shirt. Doing his job, but yeah, it could have got uncomfortable if that would have went in. 4-0 down at home when you really need desperately to try and get out the bottom 3. And
the other thing, Trevor, as well, we've got to mention it, is goal difference, because Everton's goal difference coming into this was not good, and it is only getting worse.
Yeah.
And when it could be a goal difference that gets you out of it, they can't afford to concede too many more. But Newcastle, well, they've certainly not put the queue on the rack, have they? Far from it. They're looking for more goals.
Yeah, no. Listen, this is an ambitious team who train well. I think the whole structure and the culture at the football club's changed since Eddie Howe came into the football club, so there's no way they're going to take the foot off the gas to try and make this humiliating. We've just seen what they've done to Spurs.
Well, here's Mopay now, looks to put the cross in. He'll earn himself a corner for Everton. 11 to go. They are up against it. Reminder, you can hear Leicester against Everton on Monday, live and exclusive on Talksport. Adrian Durham, Sam Matterface and Danny Murphy, our Monday night team at the King Power Stadium. And that follows a great day of football. Rotherham Borough in the Championship at 1 o'clock, and then Arsenal women against Wolfsburg women, second leg of the semi-final of the Champions League. Everton with a corner, firing in near post, and it's turned in. Everton do have a goal back. Well, Newcastle are holding a bit of a inquest in the area. I think it's McNeil who's got the last touch. There's a ripple of applause around. Nick Pope's gutted, his clean sheet has gone.
Yeah.
It's Everton 1, Newcastle 3.
Yeah, well, it's an in-swinger into that near post area, and it's almost evaded everyone. And I think it must be the slightest touch. Actually, I don't think it's been touched. I think McNeil, it's gone straight in. It's evaded everyone, and
it has.
Nick Pope's not anticipated that we're going to miss everyone, and it's gone straight into the back of the goal, bouncing once in the 6-yard box.
So McNeil then has his goal. He said he scored a cracker a couple of years ago here for Burnley. Newcastle going forward the other way, driving forward with Isak. Has it down by the corner flag. Oh, he's gone away from 2. Beats another one. He's still going, Isak, still going. What a run this is. And it's a chance and it's in. What a goal. What an assist. It's Murphy who's got his 3rd goal in 2 games. But Alexander Alexander Isak there was like a tightrope dancer along the byline. What an assist, what a finish, it's 4-1.
It's an easy finish at the back post for Murphy, who's got his third goal in the last 4 or 5 days, but Isak's skill there is absolutely extraordinary. And I'd go as far as saying it's disrespectful the way that he dribbled and just waltzed in and out of these Everton defenders, driving into the box on that byline, and then in the end, he picks the ball up near the halfway line and he's toying with McNeil, he's toying with Godfrey, and then he's twisting past the gate. I'm just looking at Michael Keane there, that's bad, and Godfrey again, and it's brilliant. It's absolute wing wizardry at its complete best, and it is easy when you're winning 3-1, but you can't take anything away from this individual skill. Reminds me of a young Ryan Giggs, and it's an easy tapping on the far post for Murphy, and that's game, set and match. And he's talking about that goal difference, that's not good for Everton.
Well, he couldn't miss, Murphy. What a bit of skill from Isak. And it just fell to rest, and there was Murphy to tap it in. He's run, as you said, 50 yards down the touchline and then 20 yards along the byline. And he's off again.
It's poor. Someone's got, you know what, and you shouldn't say this, but someone's just got to boot him. When he starts travelling like that and taking liberties, someone's just got to leave a little bit on him and say, hey, you might be beating us and you might be third in the league, but no one takes the mickey out of us.
Well, he beat Godfrey, he beat Keane, and he beat Gay down by the corner flag, and he sent them all packing.
Multiple times as well, by the way, Mark.
Yeah, 4-1. Goodison Park is a pretty solemn place at the moment, a night that started with fireworks. Well, it's been a damp squib from an Everton perspective, but Newcastle have supplied all the excitement on the field. Callum Wilson had them in front of the break, then Joel Linton headed in after good work down the left-hand side from Murphy. That was 2-0. Callum Wilson with a spectacular curling shot from the edge of the area made it 3. McNeil got one back direct from a corner before Jacob Murphy on the end of a piece of Isak brilliance.
I don't think Jacob Murphy will ever score an easier goal than that.
What a week he's had, and he still got dropped.
I know, yeah. I don't think he'll be dropped for the Southampton game, though.
Maybe not. Here come Everton trying to work forward now. Sims, Calvert-Lewin's gone for a rest, as Trevor suggested might well happen. I know it's not easy when you're getting beat at home, but they've got to think bigger picture. As you said, they've still got some winnable games, Everton. They're running. Involves Leicester away, Brighton away, Manchester City at home, Wolves away, and Bournemouth at home.
Yeah.
We mentioned that City game. Everton actually went to City on New Year's Day and took a point, and were well worthy of a point as well that day. Tottenham have got a goal back. They're 2-1 down now at home. I think it's Porro with a goal. That is live on Talksport right now on the South Coast. Nervy ending there. Southampton 0, Bournemouth 1.
Yeah, it's just took the air out of this crowd, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Just took that enthusiasm, that belief that they can get something out of this game now with that 4th goal. And I think the sheer audacity from Isak to create in the way that he created it, as you said, ran from the halfway line to the corner flag and then all along the corner flag to the near post and putting it on a plate at the far post for Murphy. Absolute liberty.
All 3 away teams winning in the Premier League and the Championship. Huge game. Rotherham 1, Cardiff 1. Reminder, tomorrow night we're live in the Championship. It's a big game as well, because Blackpool, well, if they lose, they are in effect all but relegated. They take on Millwall, who are 7th in the table, looking to get back into the playoffs. They've been in for a long part of the season, and now they're on the outside looking in. We've got that live and exclusive tomorrow night. We've got Palace West Ham on Saturday. Brighton against Wolves is live on Talksport 2 from 3, and then another big game, West Brom Norwich in the Championship, 5:30. The only place you'll hear it, National Radio, is right here with us on Talksport 2. 4-1 Newcastle lead. And the thing is, don't want to be disrespectful, they've not even played that well, Trevor, have they? They've been good. Yeah, they've been good, but they've not been great, have they?
No, they've not been great. And I go back to it. It's not about possession, and you've seen that too many times, Mark, to understand that. It's not about how much time you have the ball. It's what you do when you have it. And when you talk about clinical play, I mean, his stats are an absolute joke.
He's off again. Down the touchline, crosses it back. It just evades Wilson. Now the ball breaks over on the far side. Here is Willock, tries to feed Isak in. Isak has it now. He went for the curling shot. It comes off a defender. Bruno Guimaraes gets it to Willock. Willock edge of the area, tries to weave through one, but Garner, I think it is, who's brought it away from him on as a substitute. In the carnage of that fourth goal, they made a few changes, Everton, but not really going to have an impact. 86 gone, live on Talksport 2. And here comes Anthony Gordon. Now, Eddie Howe, is he being a little bit cheeky here? Gordon comes on.
I almost don't want to talk about it.
And he's going to come on along with Elliot Anderson. So a double change. And Callum Wilson, 2 goals for him tonight. But not only that, Trevor, he led the line so well, didn't he, in that first half, and he gets a well-earned breather. But Gordon is the player coming on. He's got a big smile on his face. Trevor's not so sure about this one.
Yeah, listen,
Willock is the player who
he's going to have to do it at some stage, and I think, Eddie Howe is just being as professional as he can. He wants to bring him on, he wants to stretch his legs. And it doesn't matter that he's been at this football club, and actually the reception he got, because the stadium's half empty now, because a lot of the Everton fans have gone since they went 4-1 down, it's not been as bad as it could have been.
What skill from Bruno Guimaraes now. Newcastle are pouring on the agony. The challenge comes in, but still Guimaraes finds his teammate Anderson, who's bundled over. So Willock and Wilson make way. Gordon and Anderson come on, and Callum Wilson's got a big smile on his face as he's sat in the dugout, and why wouldn't he? 2 goals, a typical poacher's finish, and a wonderful strike.
Listen, he's an England international, he's a proven goal scorer in the Premier League, and now he's got the team around him to influence that and to enhance that, and he looks like he's really enjoying himself at Newcastle United now.
Here's Gordon down that left-hand side, working his way towards the edge of the area. Gets it inside to Guimaraes. Guimaraes looking to offload it, runs into trouble. Gordon's picked it back up. Look, you're looking at this team. Can you blame Anthony Gordon for making the move to Newcastle? If you're being honest.
Well, listen, you don't get many opportunities to go to a huge club like Newcastle United Football Club, and the investment, although it's been made, it's not been made wisely at Everton. And as a player, you've got a short career, you've got to decide what you want to do, and he decided that it was better to go to Newcastle than stay at Everton.
Big goal, bottom of the Premier League. Southampton 1, Bournemouth 1, an equaliser, a lifeline for Southampton, who just about, with a point, will keep themselves in the mix.
I think it's mission impossible for Southampton, but I think if Bournemouth could have got through this game and took 3 points, I think they were almost safe. Yeah,
here's Murphy into the area. I thought he was going to hit it on his right foot. Instead, he'll earn himself a corner. So Everton 1, Newcastle 4, Southampton 1-1 with Bournemouth. Or is it? Has there been a VAR there? We need to check that. Came up as a goal. We'll confirm that in a moment, because that is huge.
Yeah, it's a huge goal. And I mentioned earlier when we were talking before the show, and we were previewing this game, and I'm talking about players that have improved, and the obvious ones are Joe Linton and Longstaff, but Murphy, I mean,
well, there's a cross into the area. There could be another goal coming here for Newcastle. Over on the far side they have it. They're all queuing up for a goal here. They are going to have a goal. What a strike! What a wonderful strike! Fabian Schär has curled it in from 25 yards. He was an injury down coming into this one. There was no doubting about the quality of that finish. He's beaten Pickford from 25 yards out. Newcastle emphatic. 6 on the weekend, 5 tonight at Goodison. It's Everton 1, Newcastle 5.
Yeah, that's the final nail in the coffin, that, for Everton fans. There's a real exodus from Goodison now. They've seen enough. But the Geordie fans in the corner, you see them, they're ecstatic, and what a finish. They've been treated tonight to some absolutely sublime finishes. and that wasn't any different. He cut inside onto his right foot. He must have been all of 25 yards out, and he's almost placed it. He's chopped inside. I think that's a little bit too passive with the defenders, but he's not central. He's from a bit of an angle from about 25 yards, and he bent it in the far bottom corner, and it's a brilliant finish.
They are checking this because surely they've gone too far back here. They've gone to the initial ball in, which Dan Burn was offside. Now,
if it's offside, it's offside, isn't it? And that's then led to the goal.
VAR is going to disallow it. Wow. Won't count in the end.
Yeah.
Shard will be gutted about that. Yeah. What a strike it was.
Yeah,
and it remains 4-1.
I think the fact that it is offside on the initial ball in, that they've missed it, and then it's led to a goal.
And that was the scene down at St Mary's. Shea Adams' goal ruled out. VAR disallowed it. So another twist at the bottom of the Premier League. Bournemouth are still leading. Newcastle lead here by 4-1. Here's Gordon now burning down that left touchline. He's outnumbered, and Everton refusing to let him add insult to injury here at Goodison Park. But it's been an awful night for the Toffees. They find themselves in a very sticky situation now.
Yeah, there's one thing I've just seen there, and I didn't realise it, because Ben Godfrey's a quick lad, but Anthony Gordon's quicker. He's shown him a clean pair of heels there, and luckily, unlike one of the goals earlier that Joe Linton stepped inside, leading to the deflected or the rebound goal by Wilson, there was a lot of help there for Ben Godfrey and players around him to help deal with Anthony Gordon.
Yeah. 4-1 it remains here. We're in the 5 added on minutes. You're live on Talksport 2. Here come the Toon again, looking for a 5th goal. Gordon waits. The ball in front of him. It'll find its way here to Murphy, who's killed it over the top. He should have hit the target from 16 yards out.
Yeah, it's brilliant football. Listen, it gets easy when it's like this, when you've absolutely incapacitated your opposition, and the olays from the crowd, and the 1 and 2 touch passing and the movement. Everyone wants to get in on the action, and yeah, it's fantastic football. Listen, the only thing you'd say is Jacob Murphy should hit the target there, and if he hits the target, I think he scores, because Pickford's moving from his right hand post across the goal to his left hand post to cut the angle off, and if you put it back in the corner where he's just come from, it's difficult for a keeper to get anywhere near it.
Newcastle lead here. Late free kick for Everton. Remember, goal difference could be crucial, so they'll want something out of this if they can. Manchester United lead on Talksport 2 on at Tottenham Hotspur. Earlier on, Barcelona held Chelsea 1-1 to go through 2 on an aggregate to the Women's Champions League final. It's still 1-1 at the New York Stadium. Rotherham 1, Cardiff 1. Bournemouth still leading on the Talksport app. You can get the closing stages there now. Southampton 0, Bournemouth 1. VAR ruling out a Southampton equaliser in the 90th minute. Here Everton have got a free kick. Pope will let that go. It's gone behind. And we are just moments away from the full-time whistle here, Trevor. It's been a demolition job, hasn't it, from Newcastle?
Yeah, but not in the traditional sense. It's not like, for 90 minutes they've been the better side and they've bossed things and they've had possession and they've dictated everything. I think there's been some positive to take from this Everton performance, and I'm sure Sean Dyche will look at that when assessing it and getting the boys in to analyse the performances. But all in all, it's about moments, and it's about your creative players in that final third, and yeah, there's not been any competition. Newcastle have been absolutely brilliant and shown exactly why they're in the position they are in, because they've not really given that many chances away to Everton, and they've created decent situations, and when they've got in them situations they've been absolutely clinical.
A bit of an Audi challenge over on the far side, but nothing comes of it. It was Decore who bumbled Elliot Anderson over the touchline. We're going inside the final of the minimum 5 to be added on. The stewards are lined up round the pitch to stop a pitch invasion. I don't think there's enough Everton fans in here to invade the pitches there.
I think it's man-on-man.
More stewards.
Man-on-man bulldog.
Yeah. It's getting a bit unnecessary. There's a few fouls going in over on the far side.
Frustration, I think. They don't want them to take liberties and embarrass them furthermore on their own pitch, and that's a bit of pride. You've got to control that aggression and that pride, but it's good to see that they've knocked down tools and blaming each other and stopped running, because that's the last thing that Sean Dyche will want. And I think the Newcastle players, all in all, if they start taking 4, 5, 6 touches of the ball, they expect to get whacked.
Well, Newcastle have got a late free kick here. They've already scored a fifth goal. It was ruled out by VAR. Can they get one now? Ball whipped in, and it's cleared away by Mikolenko.
Brilliant defending, far post.
The referee has given the corner.
Yeah.
They will play on here.
But I think you start, listen, if you're making it's a straightforward free kick, the ball is definitely, no one near the ball, so it's definitely coming into the box. If you're making a last gasp sliding tackle on the far post, your starting position's wrong, your body position's wrong, you don't know what's around you.
Well, Goodison Park was alive with noise and fireworks at the start of play, but it ends quiet. The only noise coming from 3,000 travelling Newcastle fans who seen their side score 4 goals as they look to lock up a place in the top 4. Callum Wilson leading the way, his first half goal at Newcastle in front of the break. Joe Linton's cushion header made it 2, and Callum Wilson's beautiful curling shot with 15 minutes left made it 3-0. There was brief hope. McNeil's corner went all the way through and touched into the far post, but after an outrageous piece of skill from Alexander Isak, who raced from halfway down the left touchline, danced along the byline and set it up for Jacob Murphy, his third in 2 games. That was it. Fabian Schär's late strike was ruled out by VAR, but the damage already done. Everton in deep, deep trouble at the bottom end of the Premier League. They are running out of time. They need performances quickly. For Newcastle, it's a matter of when, not if, they make it into the top 4. They've come here and taken all 3 points. They've beaten Everton by 4 goals to 1.